here? This is the external nares. What is all of this space right here called? Nasal cavity. We said this was the external nares, the opening to the outside. This opening, see this opening right here? That's the internal nares. So external nares, nasal cavity, all of that. And then right here, this opening that we see here going into the pharynx, that is the internal nares. What is this structure right here? The opening of the auditory tube or eustachian tube. What is that right there? The pharyngeal tonsil. And what is this tube right here, just generic, called in general? That's the pharynx, or more commonly called the throat, all the way up. So this part of the throat right here, right, where the nose is, this is called the, more specifically, nasopharynx. So if we put the pin like right there, we'll try to put it like right there, that would be nasopharynx. On the other hand, if we put the pin like right here, this would be oropharynx. Can everybody see the epiglottis here? If the pin is right here, that would be the laryngopharynx. Once you get past this point right here, that's pretty much your esophagus, part of the digestive system. So identify this structure, be specific. Nasopharynx, identify the structure. Oropharynx, identify the structure. Laryngopharynx. Then from here where we see this epiglottis right here, going this way, this is going to be, what organ is this from here to here? Larynx. Then I identify this specific structure, epiglottis. And then see how there are two folds there? Let's get a little bit of a zoom on that. Yeah, good. Those are the folds. And so what did we say the top one was? That was the false vocal cords. And this one over here, the true vocal cords. Remember how we saw how they functioned when we looked at that stroboscopy in the video. And then if I look over here from the side view, what is this structure right here? That's the thyroid cartilage, which the fusion of that, correct, is the Adam's apple. So now if we look at it from an anterior view right here, we can see that all of those structures. Put my screen on here. So let's put this like this. All right. And so this is what we call our respiratory tree, right? Our bronchial tree. So this at the top, does anybody recognize what this is? The hyoid bone. So from here, pretty much to right here, what organ is that? Larynx. This is the larynx. And then over here, you're correct, Whitley, what is this half of the organ? This is the thyroid gland. Remember that this is the called thyroid cartilage, where the two plates fuse right here. That's what we call it's either called the laryngeal prominence, or it's also called just the Adam's apple more commonly. So in males, it happens to be quite prominent because testosterone stimulates it, and so it's a lot easier to find. Notice your thyroid gland is below, and then on either side, once you palpate for that Adam's apple. So from here to here is the larynx. This is the thyroid cartilage. You guys remember the name of this last piece of cartilage? Cricoid cartilage. And then from here to here is going to be what organ? That's going to be the trachea. If we turn around on the back, if we turn around and look at the back, again, this right here is going to be our larynx. And then can you see here this tongue right there? That's the epiglottis. It's just cartilage covered by mucous membrane here. And then over here, we can't really see the other cartilages very well. I'll get another model that shows that better. Okay. Then over here, if we go to this region, identify this organ. Trachea. What are these structures called? Tracheal rings. Tracheal or cartilage C rings. And then on the back of the trachea, remember we learned in the module that there's this muscle that runs longitudinally like this, up and down, and that is called the trachealis muscle. Very nice. Trachealis muscle. So this is the trachealis muscle. And then over here, if we come back to the front, then we start to get into our bronchial tree. And we see right here the spot where the trachea forks, that is called the carina. And then we form the right and the left what? Primary bronchi. See how we still have rings? Then after that, here's the primary bronchi, and it's actually the right side. That is the straighter, more vertical side where, you know, objects often go down and can get lodged down over here. I think earlier we had in the lecture we had said left side. It's the right side. Over here on this side, let's follow the primary bronchus. Can you see where it now further branches? So these are secondary bronchi. Can you see that you now have pieces? Remember our little activity? So cartilage rings, primary bronchi, cartilage pieces, secondary. These in color are tertiary bronchi. Again, you can see little cartilage pieces. And so on that, those tertiary right here, those continue to further branch and branch many times, smaller and smaller diameter tubes till we get to the terminal bronchioles and then the respiratory bronchioles. Okay, everybody good on those? On that? Okay, now let's look. Sorry.